Oh my God, here he comes again.
Yes, we are on our way.
Gosh, can't wait to talk to you today. Boy, do I have a lot to talk to you about.
And there's a lot we need to chat about. All right, come on,
I'm telling
William.
you.
Get that little...
So what are we going to do?
Hey, burner
We're both
butt
chatterboxes. We're both chatterboxes, so what are we going to do? Who's going to get their word in first?
You are.
You are.
No, you are.
You are.
All right, okay, fine, I'll do it. All right, William, that's enough. Okay.
I am.
Hello, Gene. Good morning.
Hey, Arthur.
How are you?
Good morning. Oh, my God, I just saw, you know that song, Where the Deer and the Antelope Play? Oh. Well, 3 deers and an antelope just ran in front of my studio window. I love it. I love this place. Oh, my gosh.
So we have all sorts of animals, and, gosh, we've got, kerfuffle. We've got little furry things. We talked about bears. We've talked about foxes. We've talked about emies or whatever they are.
How about mountain peaks?
Mountain peaks.
They're always peeking at me.
Hey, well, you know mountains have consciousness, don't you? They actually do have consciousness.
I don't know. The vibration in this area just feels like I am so protected, so safe, like all the trees and the mountains. And I know this sounds weird, but it's like I feel so safe here.
Yeah, the studio.
I'm up above it all.
Yep. Studio is nice. Go out to the website and look at our banner. That's actually taken from the front yard of the studio. It's awesome out there. So.
Or you can go to my photos on my Facebook and look at all these really cool mountain shots. In fact, somebody pulled one out on my Facebook like today. Haven't seen it in like 2 years. And he made a comment on it. And I'm like, what?
Are you serious?
Somebody's going through my photos.
Oh, you know it's really funny because you might get something from Facebook a year later, and all of a sudden there's this photograph that you forgot all about.
I
right?
know.
Here, this was this last year at your birthday. This is what your friends are doing. Have you seen the little video that they're going out there now in honor of Friends Day that they sent out yesterday?
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's pretty good. You put this little thing together. I got to give them credit for this. And you press the button, and it grabs your pictures and puts together this little presentation like these guys throwing pictures down with some nice music behind it. It's very clever the way they did this. I mean, Facebook's got some cool stuff. I keep
forgetting to go onto my news feed. You know, I'm trying to learn how to maneuver through this Facebook, you know. But it is funny. Steven, our engineer, took a picture of me. He's a photographer as well. And I'm telling the audience this, and it's like this light picture. This picture just makes me look like pure light energy. You know, I can't really see my face, but I look like I'm 2 years old, and I love it. So I use it as my photo on my Facebook because it's such a cool shot. It looks like I'm making my ascension. Literally, I'm turning into pure light energy. It is astounding, and this is what all of us have to do after we graduate from this earth as we become pure light energy.
Yeah,
can't wait.
I've looked at that photograph. From a photography standpoint, it looks like it's blown out, you know, from the light.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's absolutely not, because I know that light in that area wouldn't blow that out. That's coming from, wow, your aura, man.
I know, it's so full of light.
Speaking of auras, we have some unfinished business that we have to take care of today. It's time for the Trek Upward Confession Corner.
We are starting a new corner in our show.
That's right.
It is the Confession Corner. Each day that we do a show, we will receive confessions from each other. Oh no, Arthur, guess what I did? Oh my God, what am I going to do to correct it?
Here we go. What? What'd you do?
I did Ted Cruz's chart. You know that guy? Cruising for a bruising Ted?
Cruising for a bruising Ted. Yes.
Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
I didn't have his correct time of birth.
Oh, no.
We did this whole show on him. It went out there. And then a couple of people emailed me and said, well, and I said, oh, no, because I didn't even mention it on the radio show that we did not have his time of birth, that I was speculating. So now I got to make this clear to everyone so everyone understands. I am confessing right now one of the things is if you have the birth date and the year, which we did on Cruisin' and Bruisin'.
Cruisin' Bruce. Okay.
Well, he did, but anyway, we can get most of the information. What we can't get is the up close and personal of, the moon and the ascendant and the house cusp numbers. So you can get a lot of information with just the birthday and the year, but you've got to have more for getting up close and personal. So I didn't have more, and I made some predictions that were pretty personal, forgetting that I didn't have more for that moment. So you gotta, for the most part, what I said about Cruisin' Bruisin' is true. And sure enough, he did show it by, cruising into Ben Carson's life and, the night of the caucuses, letting everybody think that Ben Carson had left the presidential race. I mean, what a foul thing to do. So this is what I was talking about. He's a bubbling brew inside. Bloop, 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 and then eventually he spews out his toxic waste and tries to destroy anybody in his place. So everybody thought he was the good guy. And I told you in this reading, oh my God, and here it's showing up. The media is not running with it like they should. I mean, there actually should be some lawsuits in the realm of the thing that he mailed out to everybody in Iowa.
So. Yeah, that was horrible.
In fact, you were in the Iowa caucuses that night. Did anybody come into your precinct and say to you, hey, Ben Carson's out of the race?
No, actually, one good thing about being here in Iowa is that sometimes the news might be a little bit slower getting here. No, there were actually somebody stood up and talked for him. So it did not affect our particular precinct, but it may have affected. I heard that
there was 15. Yeah, I heard it was 1,500 precincts that affected. Yeah. But anyway, so I said that he would win second place and he won first place. But I also said there was foul energy, and that's the foul energy. I may have said it in different words, but he wasn't supposed to be first place. And the second thing I need to say is really quick. Trump, I predicted would win by a landslide, and in a way he did, because your voting was up 4 times from the last.
Yes.
So hundreds of thousands of people came out that would have never been out before.
That is correct.
So that was right. That was a landslide, and I believe Trump brought that in because it showed up in the charts. So that was his number one positioning. He literally got people out to vote, and he should be the number one person. But Ted Cruz played dirty politics, and he's a dirty politician, and I'm telling you, it's in his chart, and we talked about it. He has free will choice. He has free will choice. He could have done it nicer. Why can't he be nice? I want people to be nice. We got to love each other. And I don't mean ooey gooey, mushy love. I mean just, hey, I care about you. Let's be honorable with each other. Let's play by the rules. Let's be our brother's keeper. Let's not betray each other anymore. Enough with this karma. This is why we're getting wars going and World War III and all this hairy stuff.
You go, girl.
Anyway,
golly.
That's my that's my confession for the day.
Wow.
The moon's in Capricorn. So I'm taking responsibility for my karma.
Mr. Cruz, your attempt at what you did in that caucus was not nice, and okay. So let that be what it is.
Got it out of my system. I feel better.
You feel better? Okay, now it's my turn.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, my turn. We had a great show. We were rolling on the show. And yours truly here forgot to hit the record button. Me. Oh, my God. Oh, so we ended up losing that. Oh, I felt horrible about that for it. So I have to do penance and Violet Flame for that.
45 minutes into the show, we realize we don't have a live podcast anymore.
Son of a gun. That's, you know what that was akin to? And my wife pointed this out to me, and I'm glad she did. She goes, that's like taking pictures without the film and the camera. And I went, yeah, that's exactly right.
But I didn't react.
Our newer audience actually wouldn't have experienced the fact of ever having taken pictures without the film and the camera. You realize that that's a new thing. So most of our young listeners, what are you talking about? Back in the days, we used to have to load the cameras with film.
Do you have to reveal your age by your conversation?
Hey, I'm actually 30. I just have a hormone issue. I
see.
years old. Come on, Gene. At 30 years old, we still have film cameras, you know.
Hey, I feel like I was still 16. I still feel like I just got my driver's license.
So do I.
Of course, when I'm driving down the hill from the Studio 5600, it feels like I just got my driver's license. You know, there's a cliff, and I don't know if I got records from falling over in a carriage rolling down a cliff. You know how those. But every time we drive down that hill, and I'm on that cliff, I'm looking down, and I'm looking straight down, and it's, oh my God.
Maybe you had a Mormon pioneer embodiment, you know, where you
Never been a Mormon. Never been a Mormon. I have never been a Mormon.
Okay.
Nope.
So you weren't in the pioneer days, you know, rolling into Montana? I had a sense that I was at some point.
Rolling. Keep those buggies rolling.
Every time I come back to Montana, it feels like home.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where my heart is. Where the deer.
Speaking of home.
Play.
Yeah, well, I'm where they are.
Yeah, I get it. And the unicorns, and the bears, and the emus, and the foxes, and every other little creature that's up there.
Hey, I want to tell you something that's really, really important astrologically.
Okay.
And that is that the new moon on the 8th is in Aquarius, and the full moon will be in Virgo. And please, everyone, watch your backside, because on the dark side of Aquarian energy, it can bring sudden events, sudden weather conditions, sudden, you know, when you're in a crowded place, explosions and activity with the media that would be totally out of alignment, or, you know, not necessarily the best things, surprises in the month of February. So some of those surprises will be very stimulating and fun, but some of them can be, oh my God, what's going to happen next? So, and the full moon's going to be in Virgo, and sometimes that can rule soldiers, but also it can rule disease. So you need to make sure you put your gloves on before you go into the mall. When you press that door and touch other people's cooties, you know, you'll catch them.
I think
so. Use your elbow to open the doors, you know, in the public places. You know, don't go to. Yeah, I'm just, you know, saying.
I think we need to bring back more medical terminology that's you know, more warm and fuzzy. You know, instead of, well, Xanax will do this condition with your body, and you got to make sure this, and then said, just use this, and you won't get cooties. That's what we need.
Just wash your hands. Wash your hands 5,000 times a day so that you don't catch something. Because seriously, it makes, for some odd reason, when the moon is in full moon in Virgo, it amplifies your tendency to attract to you hygiene issues.
Hey, question for you about viruses, okay? It's and hygiene issues. We're talking about, it's interesting you bring this up, because we've got that problem with that Zika virus. That one that's coming across. So I wanted to ask you, would that be also computer type viruses?
Yeah, anything that has to do with, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules technology, or not technology, but, you know, the equipment, the cars, the trucks, the computers, anything that you move on. So you're moving communication. So Mercury would move that. So yeah, it could be issues there. But it's not always bad. You know, somebody could get sick, but also somebody could get really healthy. It rules addictions. So people, you might notice that chocolate is definitely on the radar, or those things that are bad for you, like too much drinking, too much whatever. And then also do a second look at any medication you may take and get off the medication. I mean, that's the pharmaceutical industry is the biggest money-making industry in the world, you know, and they got everybody on pills. So think about how you can come off those pills without doing it too much, so you don't have any side effects, especially antidepressants, because they're messing with your brain, and you need to face your karma, you know, find something that's natural to help you instead of these synthetic things that are your body's going, oh my God, because they all have side effects. Remember those side effects you listed? Tell me what they are. You know, like when you're watching the TV ad, at the end of the medication ad, they say,
oh yeah, they say things like, you know, this could lead to death, blindness, you know, hearing problems, you can't drive cars, automobiles, and they give this list of things, you know, and the guy goes through the disclaimers at the back end of it, and it could cause death. Great, thank you for advertising this. This is just like cigarettes, you know.
Well, let me go buy that pill right away. Oh my God.
Well, the problem is the medical community has broken into mainstream. Well, God, it's all tied together. So mainstream media supports big pharmacological advertising. So we get these...
Pharmacological?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a $10 word.
I'm into $10 words this week. This is $10 word week. All right? But I could keep it simple. But the deal is the big pharmacy things make a lot of money off of this.
I know.
I saw this joke yesterday on Facebook, and it was funny. It came up, and there's a mother talking to her son. The son is asking the mother, "Mommy, why isn't there a cure for cancer?" And she responds back and says that they make more money treating a lifetime disease than solving it in one day. And she's absolutely right. And I looked at that and went, oh my God. So we'll send that around on Facebook and make sure everybody sees that. So look at it. It's all back to money. It makes the money. So you have the pharmacy.
Wait a minute. Send it out on Facebook. Our listening audience, most of them aren't even on Facebook. So whatever.
All right. Well,
maybe we should send it out on YouTube.
We'll tweet it.
We'll tweet it. Yeah.
We'll Twitter it.
We'll do it all.
Pinterest it. We'll do everything. We have got.
Hey, you could use the shot. I got a great idea.
What?
For the YouTube, use the shot. Use the picture that you put on Facebook in our little movie. Because we have a movie on YouTube with our radio show, We do. So, yes, we could do that. In fact, we could include all sorts of things that we want to talk about someday, including subliminals. Just... yeah. But we're not talking subliminal today because, you know what?
What?
I'm very aware of your subliminal little things, and I'm watching you.
I flash these little micro messages up to Jean so that she can see them while we're talking. So.
See my two fingers going in front of my eyes, and then see my two fingers pointing toward you. I'm watching you.
Hey, wait.
The cool thing?
What?
I have these stars. I can look at your chart, and I can know what you're up to.
She can.
Time, date, and place of birth?
Yep.
I know. I'll tell you.
Have Jean do it. Now, I can do this too, but I don't tell Jean that I know more than I do. So I just, kind of hide.
I know. See, he thinks he's got secrets, but see, I know more than he knows. So he doesn't know that I know all that I know.
Actually,
but listen.
She's been trying
Trump said that Pfizer, we were talking about medicine and the full moon in Virgo.
Yes.
Pfizer, the company Pfizer, supposedly moving into a foreign Ireland. They're taking their stuff out of America, taking their work out of America. Again, more jobs lost. And they're moving to Ireland because the taxes are too high here for them, supposedly. And this is so important because so many big businesses are leaving America because of this situation. What are we going to do? We need jobs,
Tell me about it. Yeah, I've been.
So this is another thing about Moon and Virgo. Full Moon and Virgo rules employment. So it's going to affect all of us. We're going to be thinking about our jobs. Do I have a job? Do I want a job? What kind of job can I get? Maybe my job doesn't pay enough and I need to get another job. So all of this will be stirred up in the realm of the full moon along with the health issues. And furthermore, when you go out and eat in restaurants, this is the most important thing I can say. Watch what you're eating because you could get food poisoning really easy in the moon in Virgo when you go out into public places because there is an amplification of the energy of, something's just not right in Denmark. So flies in the food, whatever. I know that sounds gross,
wow.
but
okay.
Hair in your food, whatever.
Hygiene
products, I didn't mean to gross you out, but I just want you to be more aware when you're out there because you'll want to be out there because Virgo wants to eat out. That's what we do when the moon goes into Virgo. We go out and have a really good meal in a restaurant, because we're too lazy to cook ourselves.
That's it. I'm going peanut butter and jelly now for a while.
Yeah, well, even in your peanut butter.
Oh,
no, this is just...
Check your peanut butter for mold.
Check your peanut butter. No. Listen, it's 3 days before the full moon and 3 days after. Okay? Remember that.
All right.
That's the vulnerable time. That's the vulnerable time. And actually, the 3 days building toward the full moon is more vulnerable than after.
Okay.
So I'm giving you some important information and you're laughing, I'm trying to save lives here.
I get it. So check your A1 sauce, your Worcestershire, anything that has a lid on it in your refrigerator. Make sure you're not getting a mold or bacterial infection. God. Okay, well, there's a warning. So if the messenger being...
Hey, this happens once a year. You don't get the full moon in Virgo every day. So, I mean, it's just, you just be the guard of whatever the sign is. The sign shows the what's happening in what you're vulnerable to.
Okay.
On a high side, let me tell you, if you want to clean out your closets and organize your life and take all the chaos and get rid of it, you could not pick better energy to do it under. Seriously, this full moon on the 22nd in Virgo
I know
is perfect for that.
That's going to cause a repercussion in my household. I can tell you that immediately.
You're going to have to clean up.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, the dark side of Virgo is if you want to be messy, you're going to be messy. Let me tell you.
Okay. All right.
And also, the other thing.
What?
You'll notice that people are whining more.
No.
And they're crying more. And they're picking on you more. And they're just, it's like they'll say these little things that don't even matter. So please, everyone, don't get stuck on the little stuff. Okay? It doesn't matter. Let it go. Let it flow. That's exactly right.
That's right.
So anyway.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents astrology for the day. And I think from now on every show, we're going to, once a month a show, we'll do that. Okay?
Okay, I have this desire now to go wash my hands. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Wait a minute. It's not even an orb yet. Are you just going to... What do they say? It takes 21 days to create a habit, so you better start washing your hands today. I was noticing your fingernails are looking a little kind of gross. God.
Okay. Jean's on a roll today. That's for sure.
Hey.
What?
I'm on a roll every day. Rolling.
Rolling. All right, so I have a question to ask you. Have we finally put to bed the astrological of everybody that's running? Or, better yet, if somebody out there has Ted Cruz's exact birth time, we'll take it so that we can do an update on his astrology. Right, Jean?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about doing a rectification. You can take, if you don't have your time of birth, you can actually... A rectification of the chart. Rectification means you're finding the time of birth. And what you do is you take like 10 major dates and you kind of plug them into the math of the astronomy of the sky. And you can come up with numbers and more numbers that create scenarios of what's happening here and now. So I'm watching Cruising for a Bruising as he gets closer to that bruising. And he thinks he's cruising right now, but he ain't. He's head right into a bruising. But the thing is that I'm watching him, so I think I'm going to be able to figure out his time of birth in a short time.
All right.
And because I'm drawing lines. But if anybody's got it, they could make my life so much easier if you would just please give us his time of birth. And Mr. Ted Cruz, if you're listening to the show, I advise you to send me your time of birth. So in case there's something good to mitigate this bruising you're headed for, we can fix it.
I'm sure that when he hears this message, he's just going to run right out there and dial your phone number. And what is that phone number, Jean?
406-599-3934. And you can text me.
Yep.
If you text me, you'll get me faster. Hey, I got to tell you, though, Donald Trump twittered me and asked me to be his friend on Jean Trek Upward. Whatever my tweet is it Gene Trek Upward Radio? Yeah, it's Trek Upward Radio.
Trek Upward Radio. So we have a couple Twitter accounts. We're in the process of setting a personal one up for me as well. We also have one that's Gene Hart / Arthur Thum at Trek Upward, and then Gene's is Gene at Trek Upward Radio. And mine will be in the...
And then I have a Gene at Astrology, Gene Hart.
We are out there. We are socialites.
We are out there. We love that media stuff.
Right. Social media socialites. The true free press that's left.
Yeah, that is it. I wanted to talk about confessions a little bit more and explain something. That if you don't confess the stuff that you do every day that's bad and causes drama and trauma and has you staring at the ceiling... At night when you lay down your head on the pillow, you may have a situation where you're not balancing your karma. If you confess it, in a way, it's like doing Violet Flame. You balance it. I got to tell you the story about Al Capone.
Well, wait a minute.
You want to hear it?
Yeah. Before you do the Al Capone story, let me add something to this. For
you think you know the Al Capone story or something?
I know some of the Al Capone story. I worked in Chicago a little bit, actually in the office that he had in Chicago. I'll tell you a story about that.
Cool.
All right, the confession thing. The confession thing isn't, for our Catholic friends out there where you have to go before a priest, you can confess in your heart to your God. And so,
you are the priest.
Exactly. So you take it to the altar in your heart. and turn within to God, and that's between you and Him. That's what it really boils down to. I'm not saying that those, that the confession in a confessional is wrong or anything. Please don't get that kind of impression. But for those that aren't Catholic and they wonder what that means is you go in, tune in, figure out what you've done, and go back and say, look, this is something that I'm not really proud of. I ask, and you can make the statement and say, I call upon the law of forgiveness for, and then whatever it is that you're doing. And then,
You should say, in the name of Almighty God.
Yes.
Or in the name of Jesus Christ, or whatever religion, in the name of Gautama Buddha, or in the name of, whoever your favorite deity name is. Because 1 times 1 is always 1. 1 times 1 times 1 always equals 1. So all of them are going to the same place. They just have different roads they travel. But you do it right before you go to bed. You just list all the things you did wrong or you thought wrong. And I tell you what, your sleep will be so much more peaceful. Just confess it.
Yep.
Let it go. Get it out of you.
Here's another way to do it. Take pen to paper and write it down and then burn it. And that is a fast way to get a message up to God. That's one of the most powerful ways to communicate with God, is to write it down and burn it.
And don't let it fester. Don't let it fester inside of you.
Yep.
And if you do it every day, you get a habit. And it's like, God, you just feel like you're unloading. And then all of a sudden, the opposite starts happening. These habits that you do that you're not supposed to be doing. All of a sudden, your still small voice in the back of your head's going, wait, don't do it, because you'll have to confess it tonight. So why bother? Just don't do it. And you start getting the mastery over your stuff. It's kind of amazing how it heals your psychology so amazingly,
That's right.
Life is about encountering pain for the most part. And when you encounter the pain and you don't deny it anymore, and you look at it and you look into the teeth of it, like I'm looking at Arthur. He's my pain. He's my great pain. Then
Here we are, the love show again.
Peace and harmony. And, that's such a better feeling than worry and over concern. And because the full moon's in Virgo, that's why we're headed in this direction. Because I'll tell you one thing Virgo energy does, it makes your self-esteem at its all-time low point if you're not on your game.
One thing that I can tell you based on my experience with some astrology, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat here today. I don't know why.
There's an environmental impact statement about frogs in the throat.
Frogs in the throat, really.
You cannot have frogs in the throat on radio shows. There is an impact statement, environmental impact statement. You are absolutely contaminating my environment.
Okay, fine. It's out of there. All right, don't get me started on chemtrails. Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Talk about
Here
those
we go.
today or what?
No.
Yeah,
Although you may see more chemtrails than normal on the February 22nd, because that's a Virgo thing too. But not that being said, let's not go there.
Okay, I just want to tell our listeners how to tell the difference between a contrail and a chemtrail. People are
like they even know what the heck a chemtrail is.
You know what a contrail is, right? You look up and you see a jet. If it lasts any more than 30 seconds, it's a chemtrail. That's it. I'm telling you.
And then put your gas mask on. You do not want to breathe that stuff.
Oh, God, don't get me. We are going to have a show on this. That's another expose that we have to do. So it's called geoengineering.
Have you noticed that?
Oh.
Have you noticed any forgetfulness? Have you noticed any moments of forgetfulness?
I don't remember.
Where you can't remember a thing?
No, I'm not sure. What?
And you can't even remember that you can't remember?
Exactly.
If this is so, then you have just breathed a chemtrail.
Oh, God. Where did you get this information? I can't wait to hear this. What?
Seriously, it causes you to slowly, just very like layer by layer, snake layer by snake layer. No, just kidding. Just very subtly, it starts penetrating into your consciousness and erasing your memory banks.
Wow. We need to.
That's probably the most extreme statement I will ever make.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
I think
I've been seeing a lot of them.
I think we need to do an annual sci-fi show and bring up this stuff. I think it's time for our next sci-fi show. Yeah, chemtrails are bad news, folks. They're out there. If you don't think I'm kidding,
where's that little sound effect? Ooh.
I don't know where that one is.
I can't do it as good as your little whatever it is.
Actually, it was on my iPhone. You can find it on your iPhone there. It's a real cool.
I can find it on my iPhone? I got it on my iPhone? Yeah,
but you should be able to find it on your iPhone. I don't
anyway.
I will have to look at it. We have an extensive research library here at the Trek Upward Radio Show. So,
oh God, I hear this every show.
Jean, astrological. I've studied astrology for a long period of time. Jean is the absolute, she is the queen of the celestial navigation for sure. That's without a doubt. So I'm going to
compliments will get you everywhere.
I'm going to stick my neck out here and discuss one thing that I have witnessed, based on my study of astrology related to full moons. I was born almost on an exact full moon. It was like 1 hour or so before. You knew that, right? When you looked at my chart?
Oh, God, did I ever know that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you think I'm doing a radio show with you?
What?
Whenever you make a plan, why do you think I do a radio show with you? Whenever you do a plan, you want to do it right before the full moon because you have the most amplified energy. So you have the potential to be the most amplified tongue behind the microphone.
Yep. And what I found
on a given day.
What I found out was that I actually, once the full moon hit its peak, then at that point, where a lot of people have it, I usually get it a couple days in advance. And I found that it corresponds almost to when your birth time is relative to the full moon around your birth. I found a significant pattern. You're shaking your head, yes. Thank you. All right, so I did recognize that your birth chart will have a representation later on in your life. So if you were, say, born right before a full moon, I noticed that that's when you're going to feel it when it's in your own chart, even though it might be...
Once a month, yeah. Once a month you'll feel it.
God, that's amazing.
Right on schedule. And that's the thing about the moon. That's the most important thing to chart in astrology is the moon, because it has high tides and low tides all day long, and you're 90% water, so you're going to be moody all day. For instance, we can do one show, and it's really funny, and it's really good, and we're impacting people with information, and then we find we didn't press the button, and we do the second show, and it's really dull. It's because the moon has moved on, and we've lost the tide.
That
did happen. Remember your confession?
Oh, I forgot. Yes. See? I forgot all about it already. I confessed it. It's gone.
So, that's what I mean. You got to catch the energy while the tide's high. And that's why you want to get your chart done every day so you can plan your meetings. You can plan all your events, because they will be a multiplication factor and toward the good if you get the right tide.
Well, let me talk about this for a while, because I've run into some people that do not have a very good impression of astrology, and they think that astrology, actually, there's some belief that astrology is evil. And the problem is... Oh
God, see me rolling my eyes. Yes, here we go. This is it's because there's so many weirdos out there that call themselves astrologers and they don't do it right.
Yeah, and the other thing is you don't understand. If you walk up to somebody, right, and you say, "Hey, what's my astrology going to be?" Jean's been studying this stuff for years and years and years, and she has a spiritual focus to the fact of what the astrology is all about. But if you go up to somebody and they said, "Well, this is what's going to happen to you on so and so, it's like going to a psychic, and that's the problem.
No.
Yeah,
it's like here's the bottom line.
Okay,
the moon does. The moon influences the tide every day, right? You see those, if you live on the beach, you see those waves come in and go out, come in and go out. It's a magnetic pole. So it's doing the same thing to you, and you can clock it. You can see what time that moon is going to pull your big wave in. It's because we live in time and space, and all the planets circle around us at a certain time. They are absolutely designed perfectly with us in mind. So the moon is the clicker. It's the second hand on the clock. It's the baby you want to watch. And that's why Mother Mary in the Catholic tradition is always seen as standing on the moon. She's putting her feet on the emotions so that she walks above them, walks on the water, like even in the New Testament, Peter walked on the water. That moon, that is your bearer of karma. When you have your emotional reaction to something, right there, you get an opportunity to balance karma because you feel it emotionally. It's written on your inward parts, your gut feelings, your hunches, and the moon mathematically is pulling on you at that time so that you can play that particular role and that dynamic to have the opportunity to balance your karma. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's the understanding that's missing. The understanding that's missing is the true interpretation of how astrology is supposed to be used as a tool to help and assist us. And unfortunately, a lot of people have misused it, just like Jean said. And it's crazy. But when
it's got a stigma on it, because of that. But I'm putting a suit and tie on it. I am fixing that.
Let's remember that the three wise men were astrologers. Okay.
Wise guys?
Yeah, the three wise guys. Sightly.
Sightly. Yeah, something about those three
Yeah.
I don't think we should relate Larry, Joe, and Curly Moe into the three wise men.
That is the antithesis of the three wise men. That would be...
Oh, that's true.
That is
okay. The dark side and the light side. Although the dark side makes you laugh and it tickles your senses and you want to go with it because it's like... Yep. It's like the guy with the flute, leading you all astray.
Here's a good one. So I ask forgiveness of the true ascended masters, the three wise men, of equating anything to an antithesis of that office that they hold in high esteem. So I ask for forgiveness.
Man, that was really a fancy sentence.
Thank you.
That was really fancy.
I meant it. That was a heartfelt delivery.
I know. I felt your heart. I felt your heart.
So what we're doing, folks, is we're showing you... we all make mistakes. We can all go to some place or another, but there's a solution for all of this, and you can take it to a much higher level, and we like to have fun going through it. So here we are.
We do?
So, Jean,
are we?
It's a pleasure balancing karma with you.
Please?
Yes. So I hope so.
All I can say is I only hope so. I know that we are going to stand before the Lords of Karma at the end of this life. And I know you're going to pull my pigtails, but I'm telling you, I'm going to kick you in the shin. And they're probably going to say, go back and be brothers and sisters again and learn how to quit beating each other up.
Oh, please.
No.
So what we do
straighten up now.
That's why the Ascended Masters have given us the gift of the violet flame. So we have the violet flame, which is the understanding of taking all this energy and putting it into a higher frequency of vibrating flame to change it or transmute it back into purity, perfection, love, and the divine plan and image. And that's what the violet flame
is.
Yep.
Beyond anything else we could say, it's the highest frequency of light on the physical plane. And you can see it when you look at the sunshine. Close your eyes. Look at the sunshine for 1 nano of a second. Then close your eyes. You'll see this amazing violet color right there. It's just, and kind of focus on that and see that in your third eye. I put a violet flame meditation on my astrologyjeanhart.com website on the visual page. And please do it. Try it for 6 weeks, 6 days. Just try it, feel it, let it, visualize it, put all your energy into it, say it, send that energy out. And I'm telling you, it'll change your whole life. It'll make you so happy. You can almost, I don't like to say it this way, get it drunk on the light, but you can get happy on the light. It'll literally make you laugh.
Yeah, do the violet flame for 30 days. Somebody challenged me to do that, and your life will never, ever, ever be the same. And I can say that is absolutely true.
You'll get to skip through the fields, and it'll open your third eye so you can see all the gnomes and the fairies and the elementals and the cute little things that live out there in the Mother Nature.
Hey, how many more astrologies do we need to do to cover the political scene and get that wrapped up?
Let's see. We did Rubio, we did Cruising Before Bruising, we did Trump, and we love Trump. Well, I love Trump. I don't know if Arthur does or not, but I do. I think he's our trump card. So even though he's got a mouth that he's got to learn to control, in all reality, I think he even has a side to him that does control. Controls his mouth. Because look at how well-behaved his children are. How did they grow up to be so well-behaved? They're amazing. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't do drugs. He never has and never will. What was the other thing? What was the other thing?
Yeah, there are any other...
Bush. I don't know if I want to bother doing Bush because he's so low on the totem pole.
Ooh. Yeah,
do you think we should?
We actually did Rand Paul, and we were in the process of editing and posting the show when he withdrew from the race. So we decided not to post the show after all.
And Huckabee withdrew, and Santorum withdrew. So I'm thinking that we've already done Ben Carson and Carly. So. You can look into our archives and hear those shows if you want. And true to form, absolutely what has been said in all of those charts of these candidates has happened. It's kind of amazing. I love astrology because it gives you an objective view. You don't have to really condemn anyone, and you shouldn't. And I'm sorry that I'm picking on Cruzan so bad, but Ted Cruz. But
you're mad at him because he just didn't play
mostly
nice.
Yeah, but I gotta forgive, and we all have to forgive. But when you forgive, you become smarter, and you don't just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you give them all power to do this thing they're going to do, which is not right.
Okay. All of this comes down to the fact that America has a spiritual destiny. We've talked about it, and we are very concerned about making sure that the right person is in the right place at the right time. We do feel this election is extremely critical just to ensure that our rights and our liberties remain intact.
I think we should do Bernie Sanders' chart, just because he's just... All right, so that'll be our next show. Look forward to doing Bernie Sanders' chart. I know he's a socialist. I know he's a communist. But let's see what kind of astrology makes someone act that way. It'll be interesting. And some people want... I mean, the universities, the kids, they want socialism because that's what they're being programmed to think that they want. They want everything free because for some odd reason socialism teaches you not to work and earn your daily bread, but you have to work to earn your daily bread to graduate from this planet because it's what it's about, is working hard, balancing your debts or your karma. And so
the other part of
Bernie Sanders,
the other part of this too is you have to work at your spiritual work too to gain more intervention from the ascended masters and the angelic realms who we've talked about, those who have graduated from the earth schoolroom. And so you have to, the more that you put in that effort spiritually, the more that you also get back from that as well.
That's right.
You got to intervene.
Oh my God! I think I hear a horse kicking.
There is a horse. Just one wrap up that I wanted to say about that. Remember, confessions. That we're going to put something out on prophecyisgiven.com. I'll put out a post there for you to help you so that you can make the call or a prayer. We call it a call, that you can go out there and make those calls. And
who's we, white man?
Me, and whoever would like to do it. So that would be our listening audience at large. You can all call at once, or you can do it one at a time. It's okay. That's what technology's for. Thank you for having the technology. And there's William. It's time to go.
God, saved by William.
Saved by William. So here we are. Thank you very much for joining us at our confession show. Hey, Gene, I have to tell you that since we've been on the radio now, we have an expansion of our staff. And we'll be adding new people to our Trek Upward radio show staff. And we've just added our chief meteorologist at the Italian office to our staff. His name is Luca Divindo. So make sure that you say hello to Luke, and we'll be introducing our new people each show as they come on. So say hi to Luke.
I have a confession, Arthur.
What?
I truly do love you.
Oh, that's sweet. I love you too, Gene. This is Gene is one of the best friends that I've ever had in my life. And she just
what a statement. Oh my God.
Yep. My bestest all-time buddy friend of all time is my wife, Johnny. And Gene, you're right. You're my bestest friend.
I'm not a Mormon. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to do that. Trust me.
I'm just kidding.
So if
I'm just kidding. Hey.
What?
I'm just saying, tell your friends, the ones that you really like. Tell them you like them.
Gene, I got to get out of here. William's getting
goodbye.
Anxious.
I'm getting mushy.
All right, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com or stop by on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward and be sure to hit like on our page. Or visit YouTube and search for the Trek Upward Radio Show. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss another episode of the Trek Upward Radio Show. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5,600 feet production.